Hello, this is a tutorial on doing sidechain compression in FL Studio. What is sidechain compression? Sidechain compression is when you take, for example, a bass drum sound and you use it to change the volume of another sound, like a pad, for example. And it's mostly used in genres like trance music, but it's used in other types of music as well. And for example, you can take the bass drum and use it to give the pad kind of a pumping sound. And you'll see what I mean in a second. It's a technique that's very much used in trance music. But in this case, just to make things interesting, instead of applying the effect to a pad, we're going to apply the effect to a guitar track. So we're going to take like a metal thing, we're going to turn it into a trance kind of thing. So let's listen to what I have prepared here. I've recorded some guitar and some bass, just for kicks. Let's listen to what it sounds like clean. Enough of that. First of all, we're gonna add a bass drum, and we're just gonna use a classic, like a bass drum that comes with FL Studio. We're just gonna so we're gonna select one of the sampler channels, and we're gonna open the browse window. We're gonna look for a kick sound, and we're just gonna choose club kick. It's a very bassy kind of trance kick. We're just gonna set up a 4/4 pattern like this. We're gonna set it behind our actual beat. Let's turn this up a bit. And just to make things even more interesting, we're gonna add another sampler track in here and choose a hi-hat sample. Like an open hi-hat. Where shall I find this? Maybe in... Yeah, we're just gonna choose this sound. It sounds like this now. This pattern sounds like this now. Very, very cheesy. Let's put this behind our music. So right now there's no sidechain compression going on, so let's see how that works. First of all, we're going to send our two guitar tracks. By the way, these are stereo. This is a stereo recording, so there's two tracks. We're just going to send them to like insert 5, let's say. You can see now that when I play this, the guitars go to insert 5. Now we're going to send our kick to insert 6. You can see that the kick is now going to insert 6. Now we're going to add a special effect to insert 6, which is called Fruity Peak Follower, Peak Controller, sorry, yeah. We're going to choose this. And we are going to set, hold on. You have to turn off the mute setting so you can actually hear the bass drum. Now, what does this do? This detects the peak of the waveform and passes it as a signal that you can use to control another volume or any other kind of parameter. So we are going to right-click the fader for insert 5, click Link to Controller, and where it says Internal Controller, we're going to choose Peak Control, Peak. And at Mapping Formula, we're going to change it to Inverted, because we want an inverse effect, so that when the peak is higher, our volume is actually lower. Yeah, so accept. Now, when the kick comes in, it should lower the volume of the guitars. And you can already hear the effect. Now there's a couple of settings here that you have to fiddle around with. There's the tension. to affect exactly how much it changes the volume, there's the bass. Hold on. There's the bass setting, which allows us to actually set the minimum value lower or higher. And then there's the decay setting, which allows us to set how quickly it'll return to the actual level. Yeah, and if you fiddle with these settings, you'll get what you're trying to achieve. Let's listen to this whole thing for now. Let's make this cheesier and add a this is a freeware plugin called Synth1, and I just want to add like one of those cheesy trance things, super string. Okay. Yes, now actually we have weird metal trance. Let's listen to this. You get the point. So that's sidechain compression for you. And obviously, you can use this technique with a normal pad if you want to be cheesy and stuff. But yeah, you can do interesting things with it as well. Not that trance isn't interesting. It's just that this effect is somewhat overused. But yeah, it decays. You have to set the decay in such a way that it's synchronized with the actual tempo. So you want it to pump with the actual beat. Yeah, so that's a way to use sidechain compression. So let's recap. You use peak controller on your kick drum, and you link the volume fader of another track to the peak of the peak controller, and set the actual what do you call it? The mapping formula to inverse, so that when the volume of the signal, the level of the kick is higher, the level of your pad or whatever will actually be lower. And that's how you do sidechain compression. Well, this isn't really compression. This is something else. It's kind of like compression, but I wouldn't really call it compression. This is just changing the volume according to another signal. This isn't really compression. You could do this with another technique, but FL Studio provides peak controller specifically for this. So if you're doing it in FL Studio, there's no reason not to use peak controller. So yeah, thanks for watching.